talking to yourself.
All right, so the doctor says to the guy, "I'm thinking of giving you a brain surgery or brain transplant," and the guy, then he's like, "Actually, I changed my mind."
Jesus Christ.
I'm no good at telling jokes.
I don't know if that even qualifies as a joke.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of Rashad Reviews. I'm your host, Jarrell, and on my in front of me is my co-host, Snarky Mark.
What up, what up?
Texting, that's one of the mistakes we make. No more phones on the show. We got to turn our cell phones off right now. I'll give you a second to finish up that message you're typing. And the phone is in the pocket. Great. Okay, so this show is a show where we like to kick back, have some drinks, and talk about music that just came out in the past few weeks. And also we get very drunk and make fools of ourselves and tell bad jokes, apparently. But I'm you guys always come in at the end of a joke, so I got to make them better. These punchlines got to be better. Also on the show, we are going to tease some emails that we finally. I've been asked for emails. Finally got some. Of course, some of the emails I got are from like personal people I know, and I'm like, just email the show, goddammit. Anything on your mind. But also we got some emails from like the some of our loyal fans that we have not met. Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. And got an actual email for our other co-host, Big League Stu, but since he's not here today, because I had to let him go because he's, I gave him the warning to listen to music. He didn't do it, so
Really?
I ended up firing him. I'm kidding. He's actually in Vermont, coming back from I guess snowboarding and all that stuff he likes to do.
Silent discos.
Yeah, silent discos while on the snowboards.
Like we were in the woods and we all had headphones on.
No, he's like a friend of ours or a friend of his from high school that I had lunch with. Senior year, he didn't invite me, but no big deal. I mean, I sat with him for.
Well, it seems like you were real close.
Yeah.
You had lunch with him once, senior year.
Yeah, I ate lunch with him for a whole 3 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, there you go.
Then I found a better table to sit
Practically brothers.
at. Yeah, but apparently I wasn't cool enough to be invited to Vermont, but that's all right, because if I went, I wouldn't be able to do the show unless you went out there too and everything like that. Also, we got some news topics. We got one story about these festivals, going on. There's always like these like overdose, stuff like that, and I hate to bring the show down, but this particular one that happened is pretty amusing to me, so I was hoping that you would indulge me with that one.
Okay. Can't wait to hear the new death story.
Okay. Also, there's a story about a famous singer who's going to be actually featured in the MTV Music Awards in a couple weeks. She's getting a big prestige award, but she's also a fine actress as well. So we're going to talk about a movie she has coming up.
Rihanna?
This is Rihanna.
Are you kidding me?
We're going to talk about that, yeah.
I was really saying that it's a joke. What's she been in? Fucking Battleship and that's it?
Yeah. Those great movies right there. Battleship, a classic right there.
I know she's going to be in that new Oceans.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. And I want to actually get a female perspective from our landlady here.
Mm-hmm.
We've recorded a show here at the Hybrid Radio Studios, and Kalinda, who's you hear sometime on the show, is a girl. So she's going to actually tell us her opinion of that whole reboot of the movie that Mark teased for us.
You're welcome.
Yes. Also, I guess that's it. Oh, actually, then talk about the albums we're going to be reviewing. That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We're reviewing first the DJ Khaled album. I think that's how you say his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because
he says it enough fucking times in the songs.
I'm like, I thought that was his name, and my daughter was like, no, my wife was like, I thought it was Khalid, and I'm like, no. I don't think that's right. You must not be listening to his
different emphasis.
You must be missing the beginning of every song when it comes on. Also, we're reviewing Dinosaur Jr., which I know Mark, is a big fan of, so I can't wait to get your opinion on that. And finally, we're reviewing the new Despised Icon, deathcore band, one of your favorite genres of music, Mark. So I can't wait to hear him possibly trash the album or not. He might actually find some abrasive metal that he enjoys. And, gonna tell you guys where you can contact us, all that stuff. Now, first, let's bring out our mascot. Can't forget him.
Yeah, where's he hiding at?
Yeah, Little John, get out here right now, because you're a big part of the show today. What Little John does is he tells us when it's time to take some shots. That's what you're gonna be doing tonight. So when you hear that call throughout the show, we'll be having some drinks. You can probably tell by our voices we get more slurred and sloppy or more humorous. The show gets better as it goes on.
Yeah.
So if you want to do the same, you can have some drinks with us. All right, here he comes right now. What's up, Lil Jon? You have anything to say and start the show off? Yeah. You heard of this one before? Awesome, I heard it. All right, so today's featured drink is a drink called Deluxe Horchata, and it's actually an original bartender's drink. I was told from the liquor store owner that this is kind of like, it's like a Cinnamon Toast Crunch shot. So, like, if you remember as a kid, you eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then when you're down to the milk, put some rum in that shit, and just watch your Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, yeah, totally.
This is totally what it's like.
Shit. It's going to bring me back.
Flashbacks here. Mom, the meatloaf.
I'm trying to watch Bobby's World.
Shut the fuck up, everyone. Yeah, normally I'm supposed to be drinking this like liquidy, milky stuff on a hot day like today, because in New Jersey it's like a fucking sauna. Yeah. This is like the weather you hate.
Oh yeah,
and
it's the worst.
My walk over here, I'm like, you know what? I just keep thinking like, I hate when it's cold. I'll be wishing for this when it's winter, but right now I cannot stand this shit. All right,
it's even too hot for you right now.
It's too hot, home man. Little Coolio for you.
All right.
Let's
cheers.
Cheers. Yes, the cinnamon is there. It's exactly like fucking drinking the milk at the bottom of the thing with some like rum.
That's real weird.
Why? You're having the flashbacks right now. That's why he's freaking out.
Yeah,
the colors, man. Yeah. Put some after these messages, we'll be right back.
Oh, that's an
Come back to us, Mike.
I've never
come back to us, Mark. Go ahead.
Brand new experience for me. I don't know how to feel about that.
As he grabs the bottle and starts chugging it right now. No, Mark, come on.
There's milky. There's a slight alcoholness to it, but like it's soothed by the milk and the, I guess, cinnamon or whatever else it says it's in there.
I think we found your
other natural flavors. It's probably the other natural flavors I'm tasting.
I think we found his favorite drink, Linda. This is what he's going to be off the wagon with now.
I mean, because it is milk. It's definitely it's a buy this. I wouldn't say praise this.
Well, I'm saying the same thing. It's only $13, so hell,
yeah,
buy this shit, man. All right, now this next part of the show is what I like to call last week's snafu, or how I learned why Mark is the glue of this show.
Oh Jesus!
So last week Mark couldn't make it because it was your grandmother's birthday.
My grandmother's birthday. Yeah.
You'll tell us about how wild that party was.
Oh.
So we did the show. I had to pick up Stu, and normally you drive Stu home after the show. I pick him up. We're halfway through the show. We had a guest on, by the way. I want to thank Mike Carbone, who came out to plug his stuff. He'll probably be on more often if he wants to do any more things. Check out his thing or the last podcast for that. So doing halfway through the show, Stu gets a call from his mom saying, "I'm in the area. I'm going to come pick you up." And I was like, "We're only halfway through the show. Like, I got to leave." I'm like, "We haven't even got to the reviews yet." So I'm like, "All right, I'll drive you home. Let's just stay." And he's like, he tells him, "I'll drive you home," which I really didn't have an idea of how that's going to work. Actually, I didn't say I'll drive him home. I was like, "I'll get you home somehow." And he's like, "Cool." So now show's over. Have no idea how to get him home now. So I don't know what happened. Then we just said, let's just keep drinking. Another plan will come to play if we just get drunker. So we were all drinking because normally Marcus like, we got to go now, and then he just takes off when it's over. So we're hammered and like, dude, let's go to the bar, man. And little I realized that I got to be home at a certain time because my wife's watching the kids, everything like that. So we walk to the bar. We're drinking more and stuff like that. She's calling me. I'm like, I'll be right there. Click. Another round for me, everybody. And it's just like, we did the show at 4 actually. Wrapped up at like 6. I got home at like almost 9.
Wow.
and she read me the riot act. You can.
Oh, I'm
yes,
sure. Yeah.
Riot act was read in the whole fucking novel of whatever the fuck the riot act is.
Okay.
But Clinton said there was more issues that happened. I don't remember. That's the only thing that happened on my end that was like, this is fucked up, man. I got in trouble.
I'm sure it sounds like you're skipping over a lot.
Yeah, I just know we got drunk.
We finished up at 6, and then we're at the bar for another 4 hours.
What's the problem, honey? I know I said I'll be right there. You know how
3
far
hours.
the walk is. It's like a whole block. And then
Bar for one beer.
we went to the bar for one beer. Someone drank half my beer, and then I don't know what happened. Because I was chatting with other people, trying to get them to go to this Blink-182 concert. I remember that, and I tried to use that as an excuse, and she's like, "I don't give a shit. Get the fuck home." And then I was like, "All right, well, I actually, this is the way I play it. Like, if I'm in the wrong and I'm like just hammered, I said to myself, you know what? I'm just not gonna even respond to anything or fight back. I'll just kind of hold my head down and let the barrage of like hatred come down on me. So I just sat in the bed and she just I'm sorry. Anyway, this is a good show on right now. Trying to change the subject, and then basically that was it. I mean, Clinton, what else did we do wrong? That's all. Clinton's gonna tell us what else went down. I don't remember.
I don't remember everything exactly, but I was texting a friend the whole night, and there was a political discussion outside.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was shouting about Trump. I'm not entirely sure. I know when my boyfriend got home, I yelled at him and cried a lot, but then things got turned around and we came outside and drank more with my neighbor. I know there was yelling in the bar and apparently a loud argument about scissoring.
Oh yeah. We were arguing about if that really works or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like an angry thing. It was more like a playful asking them to demonstrate it, but we never got that to happen.
Yeah, there was loudness, though.
Yeah, but that's a bar I would expect. So the point I'm making is, Mark, stop missing shows, please. We need you.
I mean, I'll just say, like, the bar is on your way home.
I know that's my problem.
But
if you're driving me home like
true.
you normally do, it's like you won't be like, I won't be like, yo, let me out here. You take me home. I won't walk back. I'm right at my door.
Yeah.
I
mean, I am curious as to where we landed on the scissoring thing.
Okay. Basically, they're saying girls in the movies are not actually enjoying it. They're doing it for our pleasure. But I'm like looking at their face. I'm like, they look like they're liking it. So I don't know. So
yeah,
we'll never find out the mystery of if scissoring works or not. So let us know out there if you guys can tell us, does scissoring work or not? We'd like to know that.
The world may never know.
But actually, I want to say, like, you actually inspired me, Mark, in a way, even though it wasn't all on you. But Mark's actually getting married in a couple months, and the reason your relationship works so well is you plan things with the better half, which I'm hoping you'll still do after you tie the knot. So before a couple weeks ago, I told the wife this. I'm like, you know what? I want to do like every month, like on a Sunday. We won't do a podcast, and we'll have a whole day together. I fucked it up last week, but she still said, like, hey, that's still happening, right? I'm like, yeah, like, so why are you even mad? Anyway, so so next week we're not going to do a show. That's my long story short. And we're actually going to we're going to AC in September for Labor Day weekend, so there won't be a show that thing either. So I'm sorry to such short notice, but in October, if you can come to me like, in October this particular Sunday, I'm doing something with the
I would say
girl.
October is both of our birthday month, so I'm sure there's going to be some sort of weekend plans at some point.
Yeah, let me let me know that Sunday when it comes to come to play, and then I'll plan something with my girl too. So it works out.
All right, we'll collusion.
Are you watching the Olympics at all?
Oh, fuck yes, I am. I'm not even fucking around. Like literally. So Bree's family is big Olympic people. Like it's her whole family's pretty strange because they only hung out with each other growing up. Like they barely had any outside friends outside of their she's got 3 other sisters. She's the youngest. And so like they had a lot of family traditions that were just like they're real strict about. And so one of the things is they have a party every year for opening ceremonies.
Do you actually watch the game? Or is it kind of like going to a Super Bowl party where you're not even like focusing on it? I mean, the opening part.
It's a little bit like, yeah, I mean, they're definitely watching.
Mm.
I will say I was pissed off because we got there. Now, it's one thing, all right, you're growing up. Everyone lives in the same, it's a family. They all live in the same house. All they have to worry about is walking to their bedroom afterwards, because these fucking ceremonies go late.
Right, yeah.
Well, because they still want to have this, we had it at her sister's house, which is in South Jersey. We moved a little bit closer, so it's roughly about a little over an hour to get there. Hour 10 minutes, hour 15. And so for me, because I worked all day and then drove an hour to South Jersey to go to watch the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, I'd want to get a move on. Let's get this shit going.
The way you normally roll things.
They're like, you gotta fucking be there at 7:00 sharp because that's when this shit starts. It's live. We gotta watch it. Well, then we get there, and of course it's like, well, they have kids who are young, so it's like, all right, well, we're not gonna have food out until the kids go to bed. Because we don't want them to eat. Like, we don't want them getting crazy.
We don't want them eating or anything like that.
Well, they have their own, they eat their fucking veggie sticks and applesauce or whatever. And then they go to bed.
You don't even want them looking at adult food. Fuck that.
But yeah, I mean, the ceremonies are starting. And right as they were started, they're like, oh, you know what? Let's just pause it. Pause the opening ceremonies for an hour while they put the kids to bed. And then everyone started getting the food ready. Which, like, her parents were just sitting on the fucking couch. We could have gotten there, and they could have had, because they always have fondue, so they had this like whole fondue setup they wanted to put together. An hour goes by of us not watching anything and just sitting there, and me and like her other sister's like fiance is just like, so how's work going? Yeah, I know. Like, think we're gonna eat anytime soon? I don't know.
I hear your belly grumbling and shit like that.
Bullshit.
What the hell was that? Is there a dog outside? Like, no, it's my
fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so opening ceremonies, disastrous.
Well,
we didn't leave there until like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and get it's just a shit show. So
I'm actually watching two things. I watched that actually when I got home at 10, but I'm like, maybe like 2 minutes. I'm like, this is boring. Like, I turned it on.
Yeah,
like it's just they're just bringing stuff in. The torch was already lit, so that's basically the whole point of watching it, right? To see the guy put the fire there and it's over. But I'm watching the volleyball thing, obviously the women's volleyball, and also the swimming, which is pretty popular since USA got to do that Michael Phelps like cheer him on. But I was wondering, did you see that meme by Bill Murray about like he said something like they should have like in the swimming thing like one regular person to show you how difficult it is, like. And I was thinking to myself, like, before I saw the meme, I said the same thing to myself. I was like, it looks hard to me just watching it. So I'm just like saying, like, it would be kind of funny to see like one dude just jump in and then realize the water's fucking freezing and just like jump out.
Yeah, well, that's the thing I like about the Olympics, and so since then, since we watched the opening ceremonies, we've been watching Olympics pretty much every night, just whatever coverage they have on NBC, because I don't have cable, so I've got this like weird antenna thing that I bought at Walmart. You can get like
antennas
TV.
Still work in these days?
It's a digital receiver, and so like you only get like CBS, NBC, and some weird Spanish channels and a couple other weird channels. But yeah, so we've been watching it, and it sucks though because they only focus on swimming, gymnastics, the big shit. Like you don't get to see the shot putting or like the fencing. You got to watch like the weird channels that they have for that.
Well, you won't see someone break their leg and anything else like that. So that's why it's fencing unless someone gets stabbed. What are you gonna see?
Even like, there's weightlifting, there's judo.
Okay,
weightlifting, table tennis. Yeah. There's all sorts of weird shit, and that's the thing I like about the Olympics is that it's like you're watching the best of the best, and so things that you don't give a shit about the rest of the year. Now it's like, oh, these are the best people, so you can actually analyze like the finer points of like people's games versus watching just shitty, I don't know, fencers.
But it's interesting that we don't give a shit about them for 4 years until this one moment.
Yeah.
So they're working hard, and no one even knows who the fuck you are until like this one time you do something. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, but that shows that the Olympics are still relevant,
Yeah,
I think,
especially since they interrupt all our shows, so we have no choice but to watch it. But speaking of Bill Murray, which is kind of funny, I actually was watching this. I know, Mark, you're a movie guy. You probably seen this amazing film he was in called Larger Than Life.
Oh yeah, totally.
Which I forget the whole point of it. Like he inherited an elephant. It happened to be on on CW when I was visiting the grandparent-in-laws yesterday. Now I'm showing my daughter. I'm like, dude, this movie is the pinnacle of his career. Like, you know why? Because I think that was the last movie he did that was like a broad comedy. So he must have been hanging out somewhere, and then this guy came up to him like, "What's your name?" "My name's Wes Anderson. I'm actually doing this movie called Rushmore. I think you should be in it." And then once he said that, don't do this like comedy anymore where you get the joke. It's got to be dry wit. You don't even know if it's funny or not. And then once Bill Murray did that, he never looked back. Am I right? You haven't seen him do
It's
a
true.
movie?
I mean, I'd want to,
Look at his resume, you guys
I
out
want
there.
to see the timeline of this.
Yeah, I
feel like maybe The Man Who Knew Too Little was maybe a little after that, but I could be wrong.
Oh, good point. When
I
was
could
that?
be wrong. I don't know.
Shit. You do a whole wrench in my whole thing. That's a good point.
I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
Though.
You might be right because man, I think that was in the late '90s, and I know Larger Than Life was '96. So, oh well, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, like I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah, I guess there is like a shift in his career.
I hate it though. And then when he does like an actual like broad comedy like Rock the Casbah and it tanks, he's like, "Well, see that didn't work. Wes Anderson, give me a call anytime. Put me in anything." So that's my whole thing on that. And that's pretty much it. Your grandma's party went well before we switched to music news?
Yeah, it was all right.
Okay.
My brother and his whole caravan of weird little children came. So in a different world, I would say I got to see my nieces and nephews, which was great.
Yeah. I need you to start telling your parents, like, listen, what is happening so it doesn't spring up on me these parties or anything like that. So
yeah,
it doesn't interrupt our show.
You know,
like, we're a family too, you know.
I know. I mean, I love you. I did know a little bit further in advance, but I was just like, I forgot to text you about it.
Oh.
But literally only that, like, but it was maybe I got a text on Wednesday, I think, that it was like, oh, hey, Sunday is your grandmother's birthday party.
You should have told they didn't know about the podcast was the same thing. If you told them that, they would understand.
They know I do the podcast. I've mentioned it before to them, but
get our numbers up. If you mention the show, start listening to the show. Listen to your little grandson. He's doing great, man. He's the glue.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like weighing my options, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck. Like I said to you, I texted you. I was like, if it was like the week of, I found out that there was supposed to be something going on, and it was like my cousin's doing some bullshit party. Like, fuck, I would come to the podcast for that. But like,
well, I told him on the show, like, you don't know how many more birthdays she has,
exactly,
and when you put the age down, I'm like, all right, I understand.
Yeah,
so.
it's like she's 89.
Yeah,
so
I'm like, blow us off. It's no big deal.
Every time I see her, it's already like, oh, it's so nice to see you. We rarely talk anymore. I'm like, fuck. Like, I never talk to you. My grandparents are there for me to call on my birthday when I got a card from you with money in it. And, like, to see you on Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Grandma, where's the check? There's no check in this card.
We never had that I never called you just to chat, Now all of a sudden you're old and, then, like, I got to fucking call you all the time and make you feel like you're relevant still. Old people suck, man.
Relevant relatives. How can you figure that? All right.
Love my grandma.
On that note, it is time to switch gears into our music news. All right, our top story we got here from FoxNews.com, and it says Donald Trump is the greatest thing that happened to America. No. Here's the topic. It says THC-laced candy sickens 24 people in Ohio Music Festival.
Oh, man.
So police in Ohio are searching for a man they believe distributed marijuana-laced candy that sickened 24 people at a music festival on Saturday. No fatalities, thankfully, were reported at the Ohio Dream Sport Camp Complex in Butler.
Luckily, no one OD'd on candy.
Yeah, but it's going to say that, though, where the weekend-long rap music festival was being held there. The concert was dubbed the last weekend on Earth. Richland County Sheriff Department told reporters that someone began tossing bags of colorful candy into the crowd Saturday morning. The packages contained about 20 pieces each and were marked prescribable or prescribed medibles. And they said each piece had very, very high dosage of THC. The chemical that gives marijuana its mind-altering effects. Only 1 or 2 candies would get a user high, but some people were eating whole packages. So starting around 4 o'clock, ambulance were loaded with overdosed victims, and they were rushed over to the Ohio Health Hospital nearby in Mansville. So, like, you don't want to eat too much because now it's like, no, I'm really high. I'm really, really, really high. They overdose, so apparently you can overdose on this.
This sounds like they knew that these were pot candy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, articles like this piss me off because it's like just something that like the people that are anti-legalization, can use to be like, look, see, when it becomes more widespread, this is what's going to happen. Normal citizens are going to start eating candy that's laced with it.
Get on that soapbox.
Like,
that's what I was hoping for. Tell us, man.
Fuck you, man. Like, yeah, nobody's overdosed on weed. I mean, sure, like you could get crazy trips, especially from edibles, which is why it needs to be regulated. But like,
imagine all the snacks you're consuming, man. That's probably what was going wrong. Like, I can't stop fucking eating.
But they're like they're looking for this guy who like shadily passed out pot candy. Like, they knew what? Because
they were at a rap concert. First of all,
it's not like those people were like, that was a really good candy. I want another one and another one, and let me just keep eating it. No, they're like, I'm not high yet, because they don't fucking know that like you have to let it dissolve and like wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Edibles are different.
So the 24 people that were treated, get this, they were treated including with the overdose antidote Narcan, which is used for like opiums and stuff. So apparently they were like, well, if it works for like people on heroin,
Are you kidding
hell,
me?
it'll work for people on weed too.
Wow.
So they were treating them with that, and no one died. Luckily, local officials described the suspect as a white man, standing about 5'6" and wearing a red hat with a gray bill and a black shirt with a marijuana leaf on the front. So be on the lookout, you guys, for that
He
guy wearing the
sounds
same
like
clothes.
Shady character.
Basically,
white
average
man.
white guy.
He wore a hat and a shirt. It's like that scene in Can't Hardly Wait. Like, he's tall. He's kind of tall. He wears like t-shirts. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
I hate you like this.
Well, the festival went on after that, after the whole weekend, because apparently they got to make their money.
People did drugs at a music festival. Big fucking story.
I'm sorry that was such a fluff story, you guys, but I was just like, dude,
No, it's fine.
I really wanted you to get on
That's
that
the shit that pisses me off, though, because it's a bullshit story that's just made so that it can scare people into thinking like, that could have been me.
But it really happened, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it was but the story makes it sound like some nefarious, creep in a pot t-shirt and a hat went around like dosing people with THC when like he was probably selling like, yo, I got THC candy. Yo, you want some? Like, it's
That's
not like
a good
these
point.
people
That's-
just free candy. It's not like he put it in kids' lunch boxes or something. Like, I mean, it's just.
Yeah, he's at his like fucking like his dealer like spending like hundreds of dollars to play a prank.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Like,
obviously he
they're all
sold this.
high. I got them.
Yeah, these people knew what they were getting into, and that's more what you want to preach is just safety, and like moderation when you're consuming, illicit substances.
Actually, who was that rapper? Machine Gun Kelly is the name of the rapper. I never heard of him. Have you?
Yeah, you remember that girl Ashley that worked at
Our
FYE?
store. Oh, we told the name of the
Oh,
store.
shit. Sorry.
Oh well, hats out of the bag after a year.
Bleep that. No, that girl. Remember that girl Ashley?
Yeah.
She grew up with that dude. She
Oh.
used to babysit her. Or
But
some
now
shit.
he's in Ohio, like just doing rap
well, I
concerts.
think-
Oh, he's on
like,
tour
their
probably.
Friends
Yeah.
their parents were friends. I don't know what the fuck it was, but she like would text him and show me like their conversations and stuff, and she would go hang out with him.
He's like, yo, man, I know this guy giving out free candy. If you ever want some free candy, just don't overdose on it. Well, actually, I wanted to ask Little John if you ever heard of this guy before. Since you did, I haven't heard of him. Little John, what can you say about Machine Gun Kelly? Hey. You never know what's going to come up, man. It's nice. See, I'm getting hot in here, so I figure that's why either I take off all my clothes, like Nelly says, or just drink some more. And as you can see here, or you can feel here, Mark, this is cold. I bought this last night and had it in the freezer all night.
Yeah,
I know you complain about having warm shots, so I thought of you.
No, I definitely appreciate it. Yeah. I'm just the milkiness of it concerns me. I don't trust like.
You don't trust milk?
Well, I don't trust milk that doesn't come out of a milk carton. Like, feels like it is like used cereal milk that.
Just shut up and drink your shit, man. If I wanted to poison you, I had already done it.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No.
you did the eggnog show.
If I was here, I wasn't drinking any eggnog.
It was at remember Christmas?
I mean, I remember
You were drinking all those vodka shots on accident when we had vodka roulette?
The vodka roulette.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst. Yeah. No, I think that was the thing, was that I was drinking all the fucking shots, so I was like, I don't need any eggnog.
Okay. All right, so this next story, Glenda will join us on this as well in a second. I want your opinion on this whole thing. So we talked about Rihanna a little earlier. She's actually winning the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award for her hard work and determination in her career from like 2005 to now, when the MTV Music Awards shows on August 28th. But also, like we mentioned, she's a pristine actress as well in such films as Battleship and... Okay, can't think of anything
I'm
else.
sure she's played herself in like some random thing.
Oh, yeah, she did this is the end. So, boom.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, so that's just proved right there. So, as Mark mentioned earlier, the tease, I got this story from, where did I get this from? The Hollywood... Actually, I don't... Oh, the Federalist.com. And they say Ocean's 8 proves Hollywood can't treat women like people. Now, this actually is coming off of the highly big smash movie Ghostbusters that came out earlier this summer with the all-female cast, a reboot. Well, this is a reboot of Ocean's 11, but instead it's going to be 8 instead of, which is weird. When I saw Ocean's 8, before I can even read it, I'm like, what is this, like Ocean's 11 with like 3 less people? And sure enough, it's that.
Well,
So,
I did hear. Oh, well, you can read the article.
okay. So rumor is that the all-female cast, they were like, is this actually happening? But they confirmed on Wednesday that Rihanna, Sandra Bullock, Mindy Kaling, also Helen Bonham Carter are all among actresses that are going to be in this Ocean's 8 movie. And like many other fans, the person that wrote this article said she's excited to see ladies all in the same film, but the timing of this announcement seems disingenuous. I would venture a guess that the studio executive at Warner Brothers were trying to out-feminist the studio executives over at Columbia Pictures, which put out the Ghostbusters remake earlier this summer. So she actually wrote like a cute like little banter she thought went down this in the studio executive boardroom, and in Warner Brothers it was like the first balding male executive says, "Gee, Hollywood Columbia Pictures got loudly applauded for the lousy Ghostbusters reboot. We could really use some nice tweets from Lena Dunham as well." So then the other executive says, this is not a joke, I'm just saying. The executive says, "You know she doesn't tweet everything herself, right?" Third executive says, "We could just make another biopic about..." I can't even say the word. I'm sorry. Let me do the line again. Take 2. She says, "We could make another biopic about a queen." And then the second executive goes, "I've got it. We'll pick a well-loved film and recast all the male leads with female actors." And the first one says, "Brilliant! And we can pay them all less because they're all women." And then they say, "I'll make some calls." I actually wanted to ask, because they say here in 2016, why is it that the movie industry feels as though it can only entrust a blockbuster movie to women as long as it's a film story and characters are based on already successful male ones? In which the lady writing this says she has a point. This is Hollywood, and the place where women are constantly paid less than men, the town that forgets about women the second they turn 40, and the place where it's hard for women to get roles any deeper than a shallow end of a kiddie pool. The city that hides its actresses of color as well. Before we get her on, actually, I really realized this when I went to the theaters and saw this movie called the remake of Get Smart with Steve Carell,
Yes.
who was probably in his 40s at that point, 46, and they cast Anne Hathaway as the sidekick for him, and she's like in her 20s at the time, and that's when I first noticed. I'm like, why is it mixed like that? And I remember like actresses like Sean Young and the girl in Orange New Black. I think her name is Lori Petty, who was in the.
Yeah.
She said something too like a long time ago, like she don't get as much work anymore when she got older because it just goes to the younger people. But it's like she's like, I was in Tank Girl, goddammit, why can't I get any more work? So what do you feel about that, like Marquez? This whole like movie coming out, they're remaking a great. Well, they already remade it. Like if you really think about it, because Ocean's 11 was like that Rat Pack movie.
The one thing that I will say that I heard about this that it has going for it on the positive side above like Ghostbusters is that Sandra Bullock is playing
George Clooney's character?
Clooney. No, she's playing George Clooney's sister. So it's like related to those movies, but it's not. It's not like those movies didn't exist, and we're just gonna redo robbing a Vegas casino. Like this is a separate thing. It's like a offshoot of that franchise, is what they're saying. It's not like Ghostbusters where you're like, oh, they're going to the museum, they're going to the library, they're gonna go to.
Yeah, but they could do that, though.
It's going to be a giant, marshmallow monster.
Yeah. They could do the same thing and rob a casino and just say, oh, now my dad did it, so I'll do it. Or
what I read originally was that they're not doing that. That it's going to be a little different. I mean, it's just... but yeah, I think it's stupid that they can't start their own thing with women. Like, that there's no confidence behind that, And it's... I feel like when Bridesmaids came out, everyone was like, "Oh man, finally an original comedy with all mostly female cast that it was funny, that did a good job." And then like all we really got out of that was like Melissa McCarthy being gross for a few more movies, Yeah. Like that's what was the takeaway from that almost. So yeah, I do feel like everything that was said about women in Hollywood is true. I mean, all you have to do is open your fucking eyes, bro. But yeah, it sucks. I wish that there was more like female and like good, well written roles, not just like crap. Like that's why like I know Sarah Silverman said that a lot. She's like, I spent the first part of my career like playing the bitchy girlfriend all the time. That's all she was. So like she doesn't take that role anymore. She was supposed to be the chick in Clerks 2. Maybe I shouldn't call them chicks now. I guess.
Yeah, the dame. That's what they're saying now. The broad, yeah. So
this bitch says. Anyway, no, but she's she was offered the part in Clerks 2, and she said, I'm just not going to play the girlfriend, the love interest,
Yeah, you saw how that movie tanked. Yeah, Kevin Smith is still saying, I need another hit, damn it.
Yeah,
waiting for Sarah Silverman.
but yeah, I mean, it's definitely true. I think I mean, but you got to take it like think about someone like Maggie Smith. Like she's played the old woman since she was probably like fucking 30. And I think maybe some actresses just should do that, like if you're like 30 years old and you're not getting that leading young girl anymore role, just dress like an old lady, dye your hair white like all the kids are doing.
Yeah.
And fucking you can get grandma roles, and play the old woman like for the rest of your life.
Or you can do what Clint is about to say right now. After this thing that I'm going to say right now, the final thing in this article, she says Hollywood is still really, really bad at treating women like people. Ocean's 8 proves Hollywood's only interest in feminism is to treat women like pawns in the game of tribalism. Now, what do you have to say about that, Glenda?
Really don't like you putting me on the spot like this. I listened to like some of what you guys were just saying.
You're the spokesperson for the ladies. I said the right word.
You did, but like on the whole topic of doing the remakes with all female, I think. For some people, they feel like that's the only way they're going to get female-fronted movies out there. And if that's what you need to do to get it started, I'm okay with it. I have yet to see Ghostbusters, so I haven't made an opinion about that one. But a lot of what I see about things that happen in that movie are not things that you generally see with women in movies. And it's really positive because if you start paving the way for those things to happen, like women having normal conversations and, it not all being about getting the man, then you can have more movies that are, female-oriented with good storylines that are different. It's, I think, hard to draw an audience right now with something that's unique because people just be like, oh, that's all chicks and it's not a story I've ever heard of, so fuck that.
Well, they took the movie. They took like Bad Dads. I never heard a movie about, and then they made it about bad moms. How do you feel about stuff like that? See, they're trying at least.
They are.
And instead of the women being like, I need a man, they're like, let's just be raunchy like dudes. Like, do you like that, or do you think that women?
About that movie. I want to see that.
Which women should go on a different path and not be like guys, or not do like a movie that we already did? What should women do like to be more feminism, to make feminism more of a thing in like films and all that stuff like that? What should Hollywood do, I'm saying?
They should start paying the actresses the same as the actors. And
stop cutting them off after 40. I mean, they could still be on the long side as a 40-year-old male. Because like I said in that example, like, Seacrell's 46 and the girl's like 20 years younger than him. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, but I'm like, all right, well.
It doesn't, but they know what sells.
Yeah.
And it's a whole, like, it's not A lot of it is Hollywood, but a lot of it's just society, and everything sucks.
Fuck society. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That was interesting right there. So I mean, I don't really have I guess my opinion on that whole thing is, yeah, you both are right.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my opinion,
It's
and
a
I'm
good
sticking with it.
place to fall in between.
Yeah.
Well, not like we were on opposite sides.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like you were on more like this needs to be done. Like this.
No, I
and then-
definitely,
yeah.
I would agree. Like, you know, as long as it's happening, it's good. You know,
I think we're just looking down at Rihanna, going back to the whole music thing and the point of the podcast. We're saying like you really need to like diversify your like portfolio of films if you want to break into doing movies as well and making music.
well, that's the thing is I think that, you know, this is also part of a deeper issue of just like, you know, beauty, standards of beauty and all that kind of shit. Like, and why is it only like the most pretty actress who's a singer now is also an actress, and that's who they want to star in a movie rather than like maybe someone who's not as
Exactly.
a certain. You know,
Watch it.
well,
Where is Adele? When's she gonna be in a movie? Damn it! I want to see her. I want to see her not as skinny ass on a silver screen. You know.
Well, hey, I mean, there's that TV show coming out on NBC.
Mm.
It's about fat
That
people,
show.
apparently.
Oh, that is it called The Biggest Loser or?
It's called This Is It. Apparently, I think it's an ensemble. Like Mandy Moore is in it, but there's a commercial for it that airs on Hulu that I see 1,000 times, and it only focuses on like this one like larger woman and a larger male that she meets, and they just want to lose weight together, and like that's the.
Oh, so it's kind of like Mike and Molly, but like
Yeah, but
not
it's a
but
drama.
actually funny.
It's a drama.
It's probably funny as opposed to that show is.
No, it's probably not. It doesn't look funny.
Oh well,
It
neither
looks
was Mike and
very
Molly.
serious, like.
Ooh, burner Mike and Molly. Come at me, haters. Come at me. And that ends the news portion of the show.
Yeah, right.
You want to give me a second? I'm going to open my beer with one hand,
Yeah, go for it.
which I'm not going to be able to do.
Shacking
I'm going to need two hands.
So,
Entertain the people.
We'll cut it out.
so yeah, you can cut this out. Jarrell's opened his beer
Okay,
and
it's
we're
open.
done. All right.
Did your best Dave
Fuck.
Coulier impression?
That was my tight 10 seconds
Yeah.
of material I got going.
And the bottle is open. Would you like another beer, my friend?
Oh no, I should
you're
be
still on your
drinking
first.
this probably.
Go down the hatch. Chug, chug, chug. There you go.
Yeah. Chugged it all.
All down. Okay, let's get to the review now. See, the show goes a lot faster when it's just three of us, or two of us, I mean.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Stu is you talk about me being the balance, and I feel like Stu.
He's the comedy of the show.
Yeah, like he's the one who, he's like the id. It's just like I don't know. Oh fuck it. I'm just gonna eat my corn nuts.
We have no corn nuts chomping on
There's
the
no
show.
fucking fried fish.
When I was cleaning.
Yeah, so
Invaded my house.
that's the wing we're missing. So yeah, don't worry, you guys. I'm not gonna let him go. Let's get to these reviews right now. First up, we're gonna start with the popular shit though. We gotta start with the DJ Khaled. Gotta get my juices going now. We're just getting drunk here. It's all good.
Yeah, it's. You don't have any weird like hang-ups about like drinking weird milk?
Only if it's like breast milk. And I got hang-ups.
What if they said that this was breast milk? This is what breast milk tasted like. It's like a little cinnamony and a little vanilla. Some natural flavors.
Breast milk, you made my day. I mean, I don't know if it's kind of like one of the weird things. If you ate something and found out it was like shit, but you liked it, would you continue eating shit, or would you be like, "This is gross"? Now that I know it's shit, it's kind of those weird things I think about when I'm up at night.
Knowing
or at
me,
work.
like I would definitely stop eating it.
like that Ace Ventura 2 movie. Like he liked that fucking bat shit until he realized it was bat shit.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird. Because some of the things that run through my head when I'm, like, at work or in the John, First up, we got DJ Khaled. His album is called Major Key. DJ Khaled, record producer, radio personality, and record label executive as well. If you don't know about this guy, Mark, I'll give you a little history lesson. He actually DJ'd for the hip-hop supergroup Terror Squad, which included Big Pun and Fat Joe. And Khaled is famous for collecting a bunch of hip-hop artists, singers, and R&B singers as well, and releasing yearly albums with many mainstream hits on it, like We Taking Over, Out Here Grinding, I'm So Hood, and All I Do Is Win. You mean all the songs that you probably heard on here.
I know that one.
Oh, you know out of all the four I mentioned. So from 2006 to 2015, he dropped 8 albums, and this album we're going to review right now, this 9th album, features artists like Rick Ross, Future, Chris Brown, Big Sean, and more. Now, besides helping to produce almost half of this album, Major Key, DJ Khaled has 2 other jobs that he routinely does. One, state his name and say he's the best or we're the best. Like, mention how blessed we are that he exists. Like, it's just, we're the greatest. Life was meaning nothing until I put out music. They broke the mold when I came out. And then the song begins. So that it's a... He does that shit all the time.
I would love this even more if that was... Every song starts with him, like... not just, like, saying his name, but, like, having sentences about how great he is.
It's like, Chuck Norris has nothing on me, blah, blah, blah. It's not. And also, the other thing he always does, not lately anyway, is just another one, like he says. Like, I don't know, like...
That's his thing.
What does that mean? Like, another one, like, I know another song is playing as I'm literally hearing it. So, does it mean it's going to be another hit? I already know it?
I guess
But
so.
I guess that's what he means. So, that he does those 2 things all the time. And I actually looked on the thing and it's found out, like when I read, like, the Wikipedia to see, like, who wrote some songs, and he gets song credits as well. So I'm like, is he actually writing his songs, or is he like sitting in his house thinking of like something like boisterous to say, and then when he says that, he's like, oh, that's perfect, that's the perfect hook. Then he just get all the popular rappers on the phone, and then they do all the rest of the work. And he's like, I want song credit. I actually said that. I said that one line, and I am saying my name, so I want credit on that too. So also, he seems like more like a director to me than a DJ, like because he's basically like. Getting all the artists together, they jump on a track, spit a few verses, and describe how amazing they are as well. It's like he tells, like, just basically say how awesome you are in your verses, and then we'll do that.
You think that he puts that DJ Khaled in there? Like, that is literally probably why he has a song credit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's either
because there's a sample of his voice in it,
or you actually have to come to the studio and say it and then leave every song. So, like, besides the song by J. Cole, the track called Jermaine's Interlude, like, all the tracks on here are very boisterous songs, like I mentioned. A little side note before we get into this review, I wanted to mention, when you get into a Khaled record, you got to expect to get more bars than a college town, more flows than girls at a sleepaway camp on the same cycle, and more rhymes than...
The Bible's Got Psalms.
There you go. See, you got your fucking House of Pain thing up. Good job. Good job, man. Now...
I'm surprised that I got that right.
Yeah.
I kind of was not listening for a second. I was reading the back of your notebook. I was like, wait, is that for this?
Yeah.
I don't remember Jadakiss being on this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. So, the first 5 tracks I want to say right now, I thought were fucking tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, with the exception of the song For Free, which features Drake, which is like your standard, like, light-skinned rapper music. Yeah. And it's that song, the callback to Kendrick Lamar's song, This Dick Ain't For Free, from the To Pimp a Butterfly album. But other than that, like, the first 5 songs, the first song with Jay-Z, that song, and then 3 more after that, amazing. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought that it started out strong. Yeah, my only thing with the I think throughout is, like, the songs are kind of short.
It's kind of short.
Like, I felt like some of the songs were a little short. Like, especially like because it opens with Jay-Z, then there's a Nas track, there's that Drake
Nas track.
Yeah, it's good, but it's like I felt like okay, from only knowing DJ Khaled, I know he had some hits before I knew All I Do Is Win, but that song you can't avoid anymore. It's everywhere. It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I kept waiting for like, oh, this is the track that's gonna blow up. this is the new All I Do Is Win.
Yeah.
And I felt like you didn't get that here.
I agree with you because like when you see like the roster on certain tracks, like this is gonna be a song,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. Like the song we mentioned for the Nas song, when he had like one dude on a track or two, those were like the bangers I thought. Because Nas song actually samples samples the Fuji song, which is called Fuji La, ooh la la la. It samples that. Thought that was great. Another song I want to talk about was because we mentioned Kendrick Lamar earlier, where I did the song "Holy Key," which has him, Big Sean, and Betty Wright. Did you like that song? Because the thing I found weird is when Betty Wright is doing like that gospel like hook. I was like, that's a little jarring, but I'm like, whatever, I'll deal with it. And then Big Sean, like I didn't know he was that good, man. I mean, I listened to his last album, which is like kind of like more like the atmospheric like Kanye West thing he's doing. But he spit some bars on there, and then fucking Kendrick Lamar comes on and just like buys the track like you expect him to do, but he held his own. The song I'm talking about that you think it would be great is a song called "Do You Mind," which features like Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown, August Alsina, Jeremiah, Future, and Rick Ross, and it actually samples the piano loop from Usher's song "Lovers and Friends." But all those people on there, I found that the track like pretty underwhelming to me, which is what you're saying.
Yeah. I went because I was going into like you said, like you see these songs where you're like, oh man, it's Nicki Minaj and this dude and that dude, and you're like, oh man, that's gonna be the track.
Yeah,
that is gonna be like the hit, and it fell flat.
Yeah, actually, when in other songs I was looking on, I'm like, I'm not gonna like this song. Like there's a song on there with 2 Chainz and Gucci Mane, which I think they're both horrible rappers, horrible, and like they actually. The song is called "Work for It," which also has Big Sean on there as well. And not only is this song a banger to me, I have to really rethink what I thought about 2 Chainz and Gucci Mane. But maybe it was just because that particular song. I'm not gonna fucking go to a whole album listening to them.
Yeah, maybe it was DJ Khaled's input.
Actually wrote their rhymes for them. I didn't know that. Now I can't believe you didn't notice this, Mark. But when you're going on a track list, seeing who's on certain songs, you come across a song called "Don't Ever Play Yourself," which features Jadakiss, Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, and Fabulous. And I looked at the length of the track, over 5 minutes, and I fucking instantly got a boner. Instantly, because I'm like, this is gonna be a potential raw, grimy posse cut. And you don't remember Jadakiss, but you remember the others on that song?
I don't know if I remember the song.
Oh man, because that song does not disappoint. Because it's a fucking callback to like the glory days of the hood rap from the late '90s.
I'll have to
love it. It's grimy, it's gritty. Because when Jadakiss comes on, you gotta know his voice, man. He starts to track off. You didn't even know it was him.
No, I don't know. I will say this is that I was listening to this while I was playing Zelda, and
yeah, I can see how that's distracting. Link compared to like the guy from the Locks. He's how can you compare?
It's just like. Sometimes things just don't jump out at you, and you're not like,
yeah.
'Cause I was at that point, I was already probably like, this is not living up to anything that I would want it to be.
Oh, okay.
Not that I have great expectations for DJ Khaled. I know nothing, but it was just sort of like, But at that point, I felt like definitely the opening was strong. Like with like I said, this first couple tracks were good, and it got definitely weaker.
Did you notice Meghan Trainor?
I was gonna say that Meghan Trainor song.
Didn't even know it didn't sound like her. It's not like that all about the bass. She sounds really different though. Like I couldn't compare like who she sound like. If when Nicki Minaj does her R&B stuff, she sounded like that on that song. But I couldn't. Yeah. I want to say someone that's normally does R&B, but that song that crowd just thought that it was just interesting to have her. She was a random pick.
Yeah, I actually like that song.
Okay,
like a little bit, just because it was different. Because my biggest pet peeve with this whole CD was that I felt like for a DJ album, it's it's not has nothing to do with the raps on it. If you're gonna try to critique this, which is what I was trying to do.
That's why we're here. Okay,
I can't fault the rappers if their flows are weak or whatever. If the verses aren't that great, the beats should be what stand out on a CD that's a producer made. This guy's a producer, and he's like it's like David Guetta. He puts out these CDs where it's all about the beats and the music, and then he has people sing on some of the tracks, and that's a highlight. But it's more about his production and his his brain creating these hooks and stuff. And I felt like with this CD, it was just like the music was weak. It was fucking beats you've heard before.
Yeah.
Nothing was all that interesting music wise. And then and then in addition to that, songs like that Nicki Minaj track were weak, and it just sort of started falling flat. I felt like that Meghan Trainor thing was a little bit interesting just because it was a different kind of singing on the whole CD.
Plus, it's one of the rare moments, like we mentioned earlier with J. Cole, and that song is more like a uplifting, like religious kind of song as opposed to "This is why I'm great." This and this.
Yeah,
this.
Exactly.
It was kind of like a different topic, so that was kind of good. I actually would like if you want to give your final rating because I actually have more to say that we didn't mention. If you have anything else before you go
not for me. Listen to it. Probably won't listen to it again. I give it a skip it.
Okay, that's fair. He says, "Don't bother listening to it." Well, this is the thing I have to feel like. I feel like with this kind of music albums, it's difficult to really rate it because it's actually more of like a compilation.
Yeah,
it's like there's no real theme, and it's different like songs and it's just meshed together. Like that's what you get when you get like a DJ like Funkmaster Flex or him doing these kind of things. But I thought my biggest complaint, which you're gonna get on me about this, but there was way too much Future on there, and I know I'm the anti-trap music guy, but a lot of people on this album like got like 2 tracks, but
it's not trap.
Yeah.
I'll be stupid.
I know,
right
it's stupid.
It's not trap music.
Yeah, but
it's fucking bullshit music.
Yeah, he's got 4 songs on there, and it's like, why is he on 4 tracks if he's not even saying anything?
Is he typically like auto-tuned out? Yeah, that's also what I felt like. There's a lot. There's a lot of auto-tune guys on this. Like, what's up with that? Is that still a thing? That there's still multiple rap guys that are just doing the auto-tune bit?
That's the trap rap technique, just having auto-tunes and stuff like that. And he's just saying, I just feel like he's at home, like when he's writing. I don't know, when Future writes like his rhymes, is he either like at home writing on this thing like, I'm going to fuck up the club. I could put parentheses 16 times, or I can just write, I'm going to fuck up the club, fuck up the club, fuck up the club, and just write it over and over again. It's like, you're just saying the hook. You couldn't even write any more. That's like 4 lines. You can't think of anything more to say than just fuck up the club like 16 times? Why, God, man, shit. And then, another thing I want to say is, like, I know that DJ Khaled is from Miami, so like his music's gonna like really showcase that sound, but a lot of it was way too much of that Southern music. I only got that Drake track from Canada, and I only got the song from like the East Coast, but everything else like more based on like the Southern sound. So it was like it's not really like a global like sound. He's just basically picking like what artists are popular now. You can be on my album.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm not blaming him for it because that's really what he does. He's not gonna get like a atmosphere on his album or like even like a MC Frontalot or some backpack rap underground artist that is obviously better than these guys because that doesn't sell. But
that would be interesting. That would at least make it worth something.
Yeah.
To have just different. That's why, like I said, that's why I like that Meghan Trainor song. Like, at least
that was the one
different
effort he made. Yeah, to like, get someone out of the box. But
yeah, okay. So you got a bunch of your friends, which I just realized. So are Jay-Z and Nas still beefing?
No. I mean, even if they were, they're on separate tracks anyway. So
well, that's what I know, but it's it's weird.
My other biggest issue, I know we're making fun of it, but I want to be fucking dead serious with this. This whole like fucking name dropping shit that he does is getting on every track, it's getting my fucking nerves. It's basically Maybach music annoying. Like same thing Rick Ross does. It's like I know what I'm listening to. I know it's you. You don't have to say your name every fucking song. I get it. This album has a decent amount of one-liners, which is basically a punchline here and there, as well as like some club bangers, I think. And if you're into hip hop, there's at least a song here or there you will like. So I'm gonna have to go over you a little bit, Mark, and say this is something you can just download it for free. Don't pay for this shit.
Yeah, I felt like I would give it a download it if there was at least like one real standout. If there was one. All I do is win.
You just want that. All I do is win, too. So, yeah, let us know what you think in the comments if you heard the new DJ Khaled album and tell us what you think about it. And give us your idea of what rating you would give it as well. Or you can send us a link to email and give us your opinion there. I actually think his next album should be called Unhumble Bragging Forever. Something like that. Something hashtag and then write that down.
Do you think that Michael Phelps is going to make an All I Do Is Swim parody music video?
If Weird Al Yankovic has anything to do with it, maybe. Now, I mentioned before, actually, one of the tracks on there was sampled by, not a sample, but a rendition of the Usher song Lovers and Friends, which our boy Little John actually wrote with him. Little John, do you have an opinion about them actually like taking your song and putting on this like mediocre record? How do you feel about that? Go on. You don't say. That's a really good point.
So,
Mark, did you see any good movies lately? You see Suicide Squad?
I haven't seen Suicide Squad yet. I haven't gone to the movie theater in a while, but I did. You know, I should really have this like prepared.
What you saw?
I'm really good at forgetting what we watched. Wow, we watched something real good recently, and now I can't. Oh, we watched Keanu the other day.
No, I heard bad about that. You're saying
I fucking
opposite.
loved it.
Oh, I got a funny story for you. Actually, if we go on with that.
I saw this. It does help to be stoned while watching it, but I know that I'm sure
on that candy, right?
Oh yeah.
Just don't eat too much of it.
Just eat a whole bag of candy and just fucking trip out on Keanu. No, I loved it. Especially now maybe it's because I don't know Key and Peele. I haven't watched the show. I've seen maybe like one or two sketches.
You gotta get on that shit.
Yeah, it's like on my list.
Did you want a shot too?
Yeah. It was really funny. I liked it a lot. It was funny. It had some good action to it. It had some good like just nonsense humor. It wasn't too much of the one thing that I don't like, which is that like over explaining, like them doing a back and forth talking at each other, like, oh no, but then if I go to this, blah, 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 and like that whole like I know that's their thing. That's sort of like what they do best.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was good that they didn't. It didn't go like overboard with that because I feel like if it was just them being that way the whole time.
Oh, so they actually weren't playing like the sketches. They actually wrote a real. That's what I thought was happening. Like when you watch the trailer, it seemed like it's a sketch, and then you realize it's a real movie.
I will say like watching the trailer, I was like, this can't just be a whole movie.
Yeah, which we said the same thing about that Kevin Spacey movie.
Yeah, like the trailer makes for like a perfect sketch. It's like it's its own sketch on itself.
Yeah,
but yeah, like there was some good stuff that wasn't in the trailer that I thought was good. And just in general, I thought it was well made, a good original idea with people that are funny and funny jokes and the way movies should be. Yeah,
actually. The thing I want to tell you, so I don't forget, the guy at work I remember you saw this movie. He's like, I'm like, what'd you do last night? Because he usually tell me if you watch the movie. He's like, he's like, I rented fucking Zoolander 2. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Mark told me how funny that movie was. And he's like, how did you like that movie? He's like, oh, dude, it's fucking ridiculous, man. I'm like, okay, why don't you tell me about this movie? And he's telling me the intricate storyline of this film, which is weird because Zoolander, but there's so much depth into the plot. I'm like, this sounds hilarious. I want to see this shit. He's telling me about like where they're at in their lives and like what he built have fell down and this is going on. And meanwhile, over here there's like a whole conspiracy with these like celebrities, this and that. I'm like, this is a lot way too much thought into this kind of movie, but I want to see this now. And I didn't like the first one, but I was just like, maybe I might like this one better. But
you don't like the first Zoolander?
No,
it's a shame.
Why?
Because it's good. It's
okay. I'm sorry. It's just not funny to me.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I can understand it, but I really feel like if you don't like the first Zoolander, then you will really not like the second Zoolander.
Oh, really?
Because it's the same kind of humor. It's just sort of a little bit, I think, a little bit weaker, honestly. Like, kind of like you already let us get away with this. We're gonna do it. Yeah, and it's just sort of.
Well, I don't remember the first one being that complicated. That's why I thought this was. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you describe the plot of any of these kind of like comedy movies, you're like, I guess there is a lot of details that you didn't go, but like they breeze past them, pretty fast,
He was very detailed when his explanation.
Did you like it?
When he started talking about it, he was laughing about what he was saying, and it was like kind of like that's kind of funny to me. And let's get to the next review. And there's another movie I want to mention that is kind of like that to me, where it's kind of like don't let me forget, Glenda. There's a movie that's like not that's really fucked up when you're watching it, but when you tell someone about it, it's like that's kind of funny. Like,
Okay.
but I'll tell you about it in a second.
I'm on pins and needles.
All right, just get off the pins and needles because this is important. This is the next one we're doing is what you know about is your shit, man. Dinosaur Jr. album we're reviewing right now. Their album called "Give a Glimpse of What You're Not." Wait, give a glimpse of what you're not. You gotta because it's you're like I guess like kind of like what Medea how she would say it. So I guess Dinosaur Jr. and Tyler Perry are like are close friends now. It's like let me help you to name your next album. If you don't, if you guys don't know who they are, they're a Massachusetts indie alternative band that formed in 1984, and you're gonna fucking help me on any details I'm leaving out.
Okay, I'll try.
All right. Members of the band include singer guitarist Jay Masika.
I think it's Maskus.
Maskus. I was practicing that name all day in the mirror, and I still got it wrong.
I still don't know exactly, but
Jay
I
Maskus.
feel like that's what they called him when he did like a guest guitar on Jimmy Fallon a while back. Like he was like the guitar player for the night, and they said Maskus, and I was like, so that's how you pronounce it.
Okay. Jay Maskus. So let's just say Askiss, but just put an M at the end. And on bass they have Lou Barlow, and on drums just Murph. And in the mid-'80s, their popularity began to grow due to the opening up for Sonic Youth on their Northeastern tour and the minor hit single Freak Scene from their third album, Bug, which after that album, tensions between Maskus and Barlow grew and caused Barlow to leave the band and join the 90s lo-fi band Folk Implosion, which I didn't know that he was in the band.
I didn't know he was in Folk Implosion.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who they are, it's basically they had that massive hit song, Natural One, from the Kids soundtrack in 1994. And basically that's it.
That's it.
But if you guys don't know who Dinosaur Jr. is from those earlier songs, you probably do know them from the 1994 album, the sixth album, which is called Without a Sound, due to the hit single Feel the Pain. And then after the breakup in 1997, Dinosaur Jr. reformed in 2005 with all the three original members and released 3 more albums from 2007 to 2012. And this latest album is the band's actual 11th release. And to describe their sound, it's like a combination of 60s classic rock with like heavy distorted guitars. Like kind of like Creedence Clearwater meets Nirvana or the Pixies, I guess. And the band also encompasses the sound and vibe of the 90s college rock scene. I want to ask you this question first before you tell me more about them, Mark. Like, would you say like their sound is different waves of the band? Like, there's the 80s wave, there's the 90s wave, and then they broke up, got back together, and it's a new wave of the band?
I think you could get technical in that respect, but I feel like they're pretty consistent.
Okay.
Like throughout, they've got what makes Dinosaur Jr. Has always been there. I mean, I don't know a lot of their really early stuff, but yeah, I think they've been pretty consistent throughout. Like they're just super fuzzed out guitars, lots of solos. I want to say this album is a little light on the solos, but still they're pretty prominent.
Well, like people are actually comparing like the Reformation and not rating it. Nothing they did before they broke up is what they're comparing this stuff to. How are you going to rate this? Like from their whole everything you heard from the 90s to now, or are you looking at them as okay?
To me, it's just like I said. To me, there's not too much of a big difference. Like,
okay.
There is a little difference, I'm sure. If you were a real I love Dinosaur Jr. I know what I like. I like what I know, but they're one of those bands that getting into them, it's like, well, this is their 9th album. I just feel like they always feel like they're one of those bands where I'm like, I don't know everything. Like there's definitely albums I haven't heard, and so I'm not the foremost authority on.
Okay, you're close enough compared to me.
I wear a T-shirt. I've got a Dinosaur Jr. T-shirt, but yeah, I mean, I really like them. They're a band that I really like, and I feel like it's consistent. They're well known for being like one of the loudest live bands. That's one of their things. That they're super loud. They play very loud. Jay Maskus is like a crazy fucking guitar player, and like to me makes a case for having solos all the time in every song.
Yeah.
Because he just fucking is a
just
master shredder.
Yeah. So you're gonna actually so that's what you guys are gonna hear. This is what the opinion is gonna matter. Anything else about them before I go that I missed in their biography?
Well, my backstory with the band, the first time I heard them, and the reason I like them is because I heard. Do you remember the Sinbad movie House Guest?
Yeah.
Well, there's the
Phil Hartman classic, by the way.
Oh yeah. But there's the gothy teenage daughter.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where Sinbad has a real heart to heart with her in her room, with her 90s like fish tank with dead Barbie dolls in it and stuff. She's like ultimate squad goals or whatever the fuck.
Oh, so they say that back then. Okay. Yeah, my experience with the band is basically people in high school wore their shirts, and then that video came on MTV, and I'm like, oh, because I used to, how kids in high school like, I like this band. MTV sucks. I don't like anything that's mainstream. And then when Green Day and all that stuff was breaking videos, I'm like, oh, I know this Dinosaur Jr. band. Let me get on their on their asses when I get back to school on Monday. I think the first two tracks in this album, which is called Going Down and Try, not only does exactly what Mark is saying, shows that bands is keeping their mellow yet upbeat indie signature sound, but I hear a little bit of early Foo Fighters or maybe early Pearl Jam circa Vitalogy, that aggressive I don't want to use the word grungy. I'm trying not to use it, but it's kind of aggressive a guitar lit distorted sound that they do, Lila feedback at the end of the track, stuff like that. And what they always do, like what Mark said, and then next couple of tracks called Be Apart and I Told Everyone actually moves away from that loud sound and goes for more like a more laid back strumming, guitar plucking sound. However, the energy does not get compromised whatsoever. The song, which is called Love Is, reminded me a bit of a softer Nirvana-esque vibe. Reminded me of Nirvana in a way. And Mark said this, which I know is why you love it. This does not shine on solos to me. Every song had a solo in here. Then I know you love solos compared to what rock music has nowadays. No solos, and fucking like you said, Jay Mascis still is shredding like always. So I thought that was great too. And the slightly psychedelic but crunchy guitar rock on the song "I Walk for Miles" was one of my fucking favorite songs on that album because it reminded me a little bit of the White Stripes. You remember that song? Yeah. So I was like, this sounds like White Stripes, and it's pretty. I'm like, I know Mark likes this. I like this too. So it's one of my favorite songs. So I don't really have much to say because, like you said, it's a lot of the same what they always do. But I'm gonna say if you like the Replacements or the Meat Puppets, you obviously know who these guys are.
Yeah.
And you know what to expect from when you hear them. This is the total '90s revival album, similar to bands that we reviewed earlier this year called we reviewed a band called Basement, which you weren't on that podcast for, that's doing the 90s rock. But what makes Dinosaur Jr. different from that band is they've been playing that sound for all these years, so it comes off more genuine than what this newer band is doing. And they took about an 8-year break, but their music still sounds just as relevant as bands like Pavement, The Jesus Lizard, The Breeders, Ugly Kid Joe, Veruca Salt, and Toad Wet Sprocket are now. Actually, they're not really that relevant now. They say all those names.
Well, Veruca Salt came out with a new CD recently.
Yeah, which is going to blow up the charts. I could tell right now.
It was good, though. I remember liking it.
So I'm just going to say, actually, even though I mentioned all these groups that are not really popular anymore, this shit is great to me. So I'm going to say, if you obviously a fan, definitely buy this album. If you're one of those younger kids that wants to get into the sounds of the past, you want to hear different things or other things, definitely pick this up. It's great stuff totally. Too. If you, I don't know anything in between that, if you heard them or you haven't, or if you did hear them, you want to get back to the old stuff, or you're still young, just do the same thing. Buy it. It's great. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say the thing I like about, if you're gonna put a label on things, since they've gotten back together, and I don't know, I forget what their album that they first came back with, but because Lou Barlow was in the band for a while, and he's come back, and Like there's 2 songs where he sings on it. Like they're a little different. Those.
Oh,
2
from this album?
On this album, yeah.
Oh, I don't recognize. Is he singing the same signature sound as him, or did he do something different?
No, there's 2. It's the last song is his, and then there's one song. I think it's maybe 5 or 6 where it's it's not the typical like I'm gonna like that's the thing I love about Dinosaur Jr. So they're like thick, crunchy guitars, solos all over the place with like Jay Mascis's voice is just like this perfect lazy grunge guy, just like I'm just gonna tell you.
You said grunge.
It's like an older like hippie guy.
He's got
like
that apathetic sound in his voice.
Like the slackerness of the music comes through in his voice.
Yeah,
it's like perfect for like slackers who want to rock.
Basically, like, the Marty McFly is out there.
But the thing about earlier Dinosaur Jr. stuff that for me was always a letdown was that I feel like their complete albums were sometimes would just kind of go off the rails a little bit, where like I don't want to say get boring, but it's like the same thing over and over again sometimes got stale. I feel like listening to it album like all the way through. I know you're giving me this like this.
I get it. I'm just
but the thing about I like Dinosaur Jr. I feel like the thing that's great about them is that every song stands up on its own, but sometimes it's like in the form of an album. To me, would always just be like a little repetitive. With this one, I feel like it didn't get to like that for me, and I feel like adding Lou Barlow back into the mix, I feel like he sort of adds this sort of catchiness to certain songs that otherwise wasn't there on some of the other albums, earlier albums. And like the last one they put out, I think was Farm.
Yeah,
was their CD that was really fucking good. And
the one in 2012 was called something different though. But I see what you're saying.
But yeah, the last couple like have been really consistently good and like catchy in a way. Like they're more I don't know, just more palatable, I feel like, for wider audiences versus like
they're
if
more
you listen
consumable, you're saying, to the
there's
masses.
One of their other CDs, Where You Been. The first song is called Out There, and it's like a 6-minute song where probably half that is all shredding.
Okay.
Which is great, and I love it, but I could see where someone would put that CD on and be like, what is this? Like, it's just a fucking, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like consistently this is a good album. I liked a lot of it. I felt like it got a little weak towards the end, like, it's got a little lighter. There's like a song where he's like mostly singing like weirdly his like falsetto.
Okay, so you have some complaints then.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's perfect.
Okay, I won't either. But obviously you would go all the way to the top.
But overall, I really liked it. Yeah, I would say buy it.
All right,
check the shit out. Enjoy it.
2 buy it's great. I knew you were gonna like this album.
Yeah,
that's why I know you so well. So if you guys want to know your opinion of this album, let us know in the comment section. Send us an email. Did you like the album? Did you hate it? And give us your rating as well. And that's that for that. And we're 2 reviews down, 1 more to go. I got that story I got to tell Mark about the movie I saw, Happiness. I'm talking about.
Okay,
yeah. When you tell about the what is that? The father that likes to molest children, and he has a son who wants to molest his son's friend that slept over.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to make him eat like the food. He's like, I'm not really hungry. Like, you sure? I made that. You should eat the food. It's like it's kind of fucked up when you're watching it. But when you tell someone about how desperate this guy was to try to have sex with his friend's his son's friend, it's kind of amusing, But and then when he's like, yeah, I would fuck you. He told his son that, and he's like, would you fuck me? He's like, yeah, they're crying and shit like that.
It's a good movie.
I guess if you like that dark comedy shit.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
There's a movie he did called Storytelling. I bet you saw that, right?
Yeah.
Pretty fucked up scene with
It's been a while, but yeah.
What the fuck's that lady's name?
Selma Blair.
Yeah.
She's in it, right?
Horrible scene with the black teacher. I've been trying to get my wife to say that to me during sex, and she's just not with it. You guys gotta see the movie to know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say it.
You should watch Palindromes, which is another.
It's a new one, right?
Newer. No. Well, newer. But yeah, Palindromes came out in like 2003 or 4 maybe.
Okay.
But it's like one girl. It's one girl's story, but there's different actresses, and one time it's a boy.
Is there a sex in the movie
same person throughout? I think it's probably sex. I don't know. At one point, it's like this big black girl. At some points, it's a boy. At some points, it's a girl. It's a different girl. It's a Jewish girl. It's There's a really weird part where she basically it's a girl that runs away, has a baby actually, I think, and then there's a part where she falls into with this like weird Christian family who takes her in, and they have a weird like Christian kid boy band group, but then they also go and like protest abortion clinics, and then like there's this really weird scene of like finding abortion waste in like they go to the dump. It's fucked up good times.
We think we talked more about movies on this podcast than anyone we've done so far, but I think it's we're still reviewing stuff, so that's good. We're reviewing movies and movies.
Yeah, right.
We're reviewing movies
Go
and
check
music
out
as well.
Palindromes if you like that kind of thing.
I bet everyone wants to know your opinion on this last one, so that's why I get to the last review, damn it! So here we go. Despise Icon, their new album, which is they're a Canadian deathcore band who formed in 2002 and are known for having dual lead vocals, which I'm sure that got you excited listening to that as well, Mark.
I was like,
two vocals,
two guys,
yes,
screaming at me.
They're considered to be the pioneers of deathcore, the whole genre. So, so respect the genre, goddammit.
The whole genre of deathcore.
It would not exist if it was not for a Despised Icon. Now, after their debut album, the band signed to Century Music and Century Media in 2005. And then by the third album, which is called The Ills of Modern Man, which, by the way, is the album that introduced me to the band and that sound. When that album came out, the group began touring with the likes of Suicide Silence, the Acacia Strain, and Whitechapel. And then in 2010, the band broke up. But then reunited in 2014 with all the original members from their second album, The Healing Process. And this latest album, Beast, is the fifth album, and it was released on Nuclear Blast Records. Now, like I said, Mark is known for despising, pun, this type of music, but he is a good sport and listened to it and gave it a chance, I'm assuming. But what's funny is I'm like, as soon as the first song played, I fucking felt so sorry for you. As soon as it starts, I was just like, oh man, he's gonna fucking hate this.
I have no idea.
I
was like, I have to fucking listen to this whole thing.
It's only 10 tracks though, but I was like, fuck man, he's gonna hate this shit. And the song I'm talking about is a song called The Aftermath, which is an appropriate title for the song because it showcases what happens after a band reforms, minus the heart and soul of their signature sound. So it's basically the aftermath of like them being actually good. Now the track comes off as so basic to me, and so unenthusiastic, as if Despised Icon is just going through like the motions of deathcore. Yes, the blast beats are there, and the growling vocals are there as well. But I felt like no emotion on that song. Like I don't know if it changed for you as the album went on, but that was my first impression. How was your first impression?
Yeah, I feel like there was one emotion, and it's like just anger. You know,
which means it worked better for you than me. I wasn't angry. I was just like, oh, this is not. They're not even trying.
I mean, dude, this was tough.
Okay.
I wanted to pull Stu. Just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I feel like listening to this kind of music is like, I don't know. If you went to Nebraska and got someone who like only listens to like religious country music,
yeah,
and then played that DJ Khaled CD for them, and they'd just be like overloaded and been like, what the like? This is just not anything that I can process. Like, I don't even know how to deal with this.
Okay.
That's how this kind of shit is for me. I'm like, I don't even have a scale for it. It's all terrible. It's just some dude. It's crazy to me. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, I love Dinosaur Jr. so much because Jay Mascis's voice is so exactly what I want like every vocalist to sound like, just like so laid back and chill, like and like depressed.
Yeah, so you don't want people like more aggressively in your face. You don't like.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But couldn't you ignore like he doesn't sing like from beginning to end of a track? So I'm just saying like when everyone else is doing their part, don't you notice that?
Notice what? Like,
yeah.
No, it's all garbage. It's like everyone doing the worst thing they could do.
This actually is where I was hoping you would change for you, because the first song for me is where we totally agreed.
Okay.
But then after that, the energy picked up for me, like mostly do like the fast-paced drumming, the chugga guitars, which you mentioned you hated, and of course the dual vocals. You got one guy sounding like a person that was burnt with scalding water. Versus like a fucking grizzly bear vocals, like what Stu would say, Cookie Monster, versus like some person hot water thrown on them and they're just screaming. And speaking of vocals, I want to say there are some like pig squeals as well, like on songs like "Bad Vibes" and like the closing track, title track. So the fans are gonna like that. I want to ask you like about this fucking. Actually, every song is not like that because the song called "Dedicated to Extinction" is like an instrumental interlude that sound like a fucking like intro to Game of Thrones. You remember that shit? Like the.
Oh, okay.
I'm like it's like very medieval times. I just want to like have like a fucking like wench on my one side, like a fucking big piece of like chicken in my other hand, like watching like fucking knights like duel and shit. It's only over like a minute and a half long, but it's like, why is this here? It's like. Let's have like 9 tracks already. I almost fell out of the chair. But
well, I don't like Game of Thrones either, so it's also not for me.
Yeah, they just fucked up. They're like, let's do something different. Like, nope, he doesn't like that either.
Yeah, no.
They should do like some another band that Mark hates is Dropkick Murphys. So when they have a new album, we'll talk about that too.
Just go into some.
They should have thrown in some bagpipes and like maybe we'll do that.
Gang
like,
vocals.
No, he doesn't like that either. I'm gonna actually go first because I know you have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
Like what Mark said, a lot of people hear this music and think it's like just noise, but I think the band maintains like the technicality of their genre, where they're able to like fucking start and stop on a dime on some songs. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, like for example, like the semi thrashcore tracks like Time Bomb and One Last Martini, they do like they're all doing. They're not just all playing like I'll do this, I'll do that, and then like stop and start. There's actually intricate sounds in their music, and then they stop and then go to the next part of a song, which what made me understand deathcore when I first heard their third album. I'm like, I get it now. This is not noise. It actually has a meaning. This is actually musicianship at its finest. I know I'm not really serious about that, but I'm trying. But obviously, what Mark said, I agree with it. And that's what you should stop doing, Mark. Despised Icon's lyrics are not made for deciphering or even understanding. It's like the music's just solely just for releasing aggression and beating the shit out of people. That's really all it is for.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing is that that's all it's for, and I am not an aggressive person.
They still have that effect with this album, but for me, I didn't feel any motivation to inflict any pain on thy foe, let it alone get out of my seat. So it was just, for me, it was like average deathcore. I noticed like their first album back since their breakup. So I think they have to like get into the groove, and maybe the second or third album from this like reformation is where they'll be at their point. So I'm saying for you fans out there, if you want to just download this shit, just don't fucking pay for this album. Just get it for free, and then the next one I promise you will be Despised Icon on all cylinders.
Right,
Mark,
I'm gonna hold you to that.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah. So I was listening to this, and I'm trying to figure out what it is about it that really just turns me off entirely. Like, because I like some metal music. Like, I'm not totally opposed to.
There's too many guitars, right? There's 3 guitars. You like one guitar and one drummer, basically.
No, not necessarily. Okay, because here's what I was thinking. Right. So listening to this, I was like the most similar thing about to this that I do enjoy is Cradle of Filth.
Okay.
They have an album, really only one album of theirs, but really, I mean, some of their earlier stuff. But Cruelty and the Beast is an album by Cradle of Filth that like I fucking grew up loving. And I think it's really because bands like that, or like Behemoth is another band that I can tolerate that's like that, or even like something like Rammstein or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think I like it if it's more theatrical.
Yeah.
Because I don't take seriously some white dude in shorts and like a fucking t-shirt and a hat selling me weed candy at a concert. Like, he goes from selling weed candy and then he gets on. Oh, hold this whole bag and don't eat it all. I gotta go play with my band. Gets on stage and just like there's something about that to me just is. I don't get it. I don't want to just have the dude that was just selling me pot go up on stage and then grumble for a while and like squeal like a pig. like to me, in order to make it interesting, there should be a little bit more of a theatricalness to it. I feel like.
So you need more keyboards there.
Yeah, put a little keyboards. Yeah, man. Put some organs in there. Just make it a little more gothy instead of like angry.
Okay.
You know? I mean, that's just me.
That's just what you like, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, this kind of thing just fell on deaf ears. I'm not a fan.
Deathcore ears.
Don't like this. What is deathcore? What is that even?
It's death metal mixed with hardcore, which they actually have like a kind of like another band you hated that we reviewed, Hatebreed.
Yeah.
They have the first earlier part of the album. They have like a little bit of Hatebreed sound with like the gang vocals I talk about, and like the hardcore sound they have in the hook. But it's just more deathcore music, so it's more angry, more dark, more blast beats and shit like that. Which I guess the faster drumming pace and like the chugga chugga guitars and the lack of solos is what you don't like.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it's one of those to each your own music. But what would you actually rate it then?
I'll just say skip this.
Okay. You were almost gonna go lower.
Yeah, you know,
that's what you said when it started.
You'd be mad at me.
I if I work with you, I can get your ratings higher if I really talk to you more. So you're sure with that? All right, just don't listen to anything.
Yeah,
because not angry.
Whatever. They're not doing anything that every other band that is a deathcore band isn't doing. You know, I mean, it's not egregiously bad. It's just not for me. It's not good to me. But like you said, I mean, you enjoyed parts of it. So if this is your kind of thing, like,
yeah, it's not my thing. I understand their impact on the sound. If they're the first ones to do it, then fine. They wouldn't exist if it wasn't for them. But even though I thought they mentioned bands like Earth Crisis, but it's more like Earth Crisis to deathcore is what like I would say like the Stooges is to punk rock. They weren't actually punk rock playing punk rock, but they had the ethos and like the sound, the style to start the scene, and they're the first band that actually was doing that sound, like kind of like the Ramones to like punk rock as well. But it's not something I would buy, even if it was good. It's just like I'm not into it. I understand they're doing what they're doing correctly back then, but this one is like you could do better than that. That's what I'm saying. But let us know what you think of this album in the comment section, or you want to rate it on the in our emails and write a lengthy email. And make sure you address it to Mark to say how he's wrong. But think of it before we put it out. I worked him up higher. He was gonna say fuck this, but he was not angry, so that's why you can't say fuck this, because it didn't make you mad.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm sorry. Are you gonna wave your hand? Everybody! All right. We can hang out for a little bit
as
longer.
reporting these shots,
I feel it working now. It's kind of good.
Do you know that band Deaf Heaven? I think they're called.
Okay.
They're this like new, like they're sort of
band.
The thing about them that they sort of embody the things that I don't like about music like this, which is like they play kind of melodic, kind of drony, interesting, like hard rock music, but like then the vocals are just like really unintelligible.
Right.
But the music is good. And it's like I have this real hard time with it.
So you hate like Death Clock or something like that because you can't understand what they're saying.
But Death Clock is like a cartoon band. So
so is this band we just talked about. Think of it as just a joke. It's just a cartoon joke. It's not something serious.
But Death Clock is a joke, and they're a real band. Yes, they play legitimately good like metal music, but overall they're like a comedy outlet. Right. And like you can appreciate it better, I think, because of that.
So all Despised Icon has to do is have a cartoon show, and he'll be happy.
Murderface is never going to be standing next to me selling me pot candy at the show, and then be like, "Hold on, I gotta go," play in my band. I feel like just your average white dude who screams a lot. I've seen that. I've been through that.
By the way, I want to agree with you. I heard the album. I have the album from Critical Filth, something Damnation, and I think they're way better than anything that Spice Icon is doing.
Yeah.
But that's because they have more complications to their sound, like keyboards, gothic sounds. Is really what makes metal, black metal as they call it, better than deathcore to me. But that's just all right. So let's get to the email portion. But first, I gotta sign on so that way we can check our emails and dial in here. Make sure no one picks up the phone so I don't get kicked off the modem. How's it going?
What's up?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Would you like a beer? You finally finished your one beer, so
I'm a one beer queer.
you can't say that word anymore. Now it's one alcohol queer. You can't say one beer queer.
Oh, okay.
All right, here.
You've got mail.
All right. Got some mail here. Thank you guys for finally sending some mail so we can read your comments and opinions. I know this first one you should because it's from your boy, David Goldsmith.
Oh, shit.
So obviously, David Goldsmith, I like you're a great guy, and Mark does too, even though he gets on you. You have your questions or your opinions about things, he shuts them down. But I don't know if he actually made his opinion on this topic he asked me, but I'm assuming you're going to have the opposite of what he's going to say.
Okay.
So he says, "Hey guys, sorry I haven't written in a while. Haven't had anything interesting to ask you until now. You probably heard of Record Store Day. That's where once a year independent music stores sell exclusive music from artists available on vinyl. Well, apparently there is a cassette store day too. It started a few years ago. The next one is in October. So my question is, with the fact that a cassette player is so hard to find, making that form of media practically obsolete, do you guys feel cassette day is extremely pointless? I understand the nostalgia and sound quality aspect of buying records, but what the fuck's the point of buying tapes in this day and age, let alone artists releasing exclusive music on that platform? Don't get me wrong, I did own a few cassettes back in the 90s, but for obvious reasons. I feel like with the convenience of streaming and such, the only people who would get excited about Record Store Day is pretentious hipsters who just want to be different. Anyway, that's my rant. Let me know what you think, Dave." So, already, what do you want to say?
Don't get me started.
Cassettes are awesome, goddammit!
I mean, look, here's what I'll say, is that I feel like any medium that, or media that has existed in the world will have its followers, you know? I mean, and I'm one of those people.
I knew it.
Not that I'm like a huge, like, cassettes are the way to go. But, you know, I've collected VHS movies in my day. And I still have a huge VHS collection. And I think the thing to be said about cassettes nowadays, because there's definitely an upswing in bands releasing cassettes.
Really? I never heard. I heard of Cassette Store Day, but I don't feel like it's going to take off like the other thing.
Well, here's the thing I don't like about Cassette Day is that I feel like it's just a lot of it now, especially, and the same thing with Record Store Day, is that it's major bands putting out a exclusive for that one thing. Like on Cassette Store Day last year, I know, like it's like Green Day will put out American Idiot on cassette. And it's like, all right, well, who gives a shit? Like that is unnecessary, and it's just trying to be part of the trend.
Right.
But there's like something to be said about bands that, like independent bands, who probably have started within the past 10 years, have only had a means of putting their music out either on burned CDs that they make themselves or putting it online to stream or download for payment. But making physical copies, you know, I feel like cassettes at this point are probably relatively cheap to produce. It's something that is not in demand. It's like the whole enamel pin thing that's going on right now. Like collectible enamel pins from bands and from artists and stuff is like a huge thing.
Okay.
Everyone's putting out pins now, and I think it's like one of those things where you go to a merch, like some kind of screen printer or something, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can make you a T-shirt. We can put your logo on a bag. We also do embroidery, and we make pins and beer koozies." And it's like, beer koozies were like 10 years ago to 5 years ago, and now in the past year or two, it's become pins are the thing that like punk bands are now making because it's the other thing that those companies like can produce for
you're talking about the pins you put on your jackets?
Yeah, like a little pin.
That's way different than buying a cassette and trying to find somewhere to play it.
I know, I'm getting off track here.
Yeah.
My whole point is that I think that it's something that if it's exclusive to the cassette, I feel like it has merit because it's one of the few mediums like CD, if you put out a CD, you can easily put that in your computer, upload it, and it'll be, shared throughout the internet. And now with cassettes, you don't have that, like it'll be a shitty rip of a cassette, but if you're only putting out something on a cassette and that's it, it's sort of a way to sort of beat the piracy thing.
Marketing tool in some way. Yeah, that's a good
point. And also, it's a way that you can kind of connect to it. I think there's definitely I feel like a lot of people have made this argument where, the breaking up of an album into two sides, there's something to be said for that. There's sort of a natural progression that you can then put through on either side. The cassette, to me, was like a fucking great way to listen to music. I grew up listening to cassettes and taping shit off the radio and all that kind of... So many great memories are tied to cassette tapes.
You're so old.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
You hate it when the DJ talked over the song. Ruin your whole...
Yeah, it's the worst, man. They talk through the whole intro and then you're like, oh, I gotta have that. But yeah, so with Cassette Store Day, I feel like as a whole, like as a thing, I don't really care about it. I'm not like running out to the store to get what the cassette is that they're putting out, but I do think there's something there for independent artists to put stuff out and like so that it's not shared. It's an easy, cheap merch item that like local bands can sell, and it also has that kitsch factor. That's like, oh, that's cool. We put it out on a cassette. Oh man, like sure, there is definitely maybe I'm just one of those like pretentious hipsters that likes to do what everyone else doesn't like anymore or something, but I think it's cool. I think it has its merits, and I approve.
Well, I appreciate you not hopping on this guy so much. So he's not giving you shit, Dave. He's just saying he disagrees with you politely.
Well,
now,
I mean, yeah.
Now for me, I look at this Cassette Store Day the same way I look at Pokemon Go. It's not for me, but if people want to buy cassettes and like keep it in the cellophane and like say I have the cassette, or even open it up and frantically run around looking for a cassette player, or put it in a fucking 1988 like a fucking car or something like that, or their Toyota Camry, 1988 Toyota Camry, play a cassette there. To each their own. It's just your thing. It's just for me. It's very inconvenient to fucking play cassette nowadays. I did the same thing as you. I grew up on cassettes, but and when CDs came out and I heard the sound quality, I'm not with it. But records, I understand it. If I had a record exclusively, I would buy it at the same time. I had to play a record, but I had no record player. But they're a lot easier to purchase than finding a cassette player at a garage sale or something like that.
I don't think so, right? Like
I don't know where to get a cassette player.
I still have a cassette player. Like
I don't have one. Where could someone like me or this guy that emailed, where can we find a cassette player right now?
Yeah, go to Goodwill.
Yeah, we got to find a used one. We can't get a brand new one.
I'm sure you could. Go on Amazon and search cassette player. Like, you could find one.
Okay.
But that's the thing is that, something that's obsolete, you're like, oh, I'm going to go on Amazon and find a cassette player that's brand new for like $12. And it's going to be like $50 probably. But you go to the thrift store, you buy one for $10. Or you just go in your parents' attic. Like...
I'm sure it still works.
I'm sure you have access to a cassette player. Ask your parents.
Yeah, I got to ask them for one. So
okay, Colin just looked it up. $13 online.
$13 online. So
cassette player.
There you go. And sorry, Dave. I'm sure at some point, 8-track day is coming.
So. Yeah, 8-track day. See, I don't have the same thing for vinyl though. That's the thing is that vinyl I feel like is more inconvenient. A
It
cassette
skips in
you
your car,
can-
you know.
like
It's
a
a pain in the
cassette,
ass.
a cassette you can carry in your pocket. Like bands that sell fucking like 12 inches, you're like, where am I going to put this? When you're at the show and you're like, oh, I want to buy. Oh, we only have that on vinyl. Okay, well, I guess I'll buy it to support you. It comes with a download card. Okay, can you just sell me the download card so I don't have to hold the fucking record all night?
Well, that's where you fuck up, which I know you have an answer for this, Mark, but that's why you buy merch at the end of the show.
Yeah, but that's when everyone's there.
Yeah, it's true. you gotta skip that encore and just run right to the merch thing.
Yeah, but then
Well-
you're an asshole.
Yeah. Why is that one guy leaving? Why are you leaving? We're not gonna play until he comes right back.
Because they always put the merch tables like on the way out.
Yeah.
And it's where everyone's like standing in line waiting to get out of a club or something, and you're just like, but I'm not trying to cut the line. I'm just trying to get to I just want to, and like I've been to shows where I'm like, I'll wait to the end to buy the merch, and by the time I get to the fucking table, they're packed up and gone because the show is over.
Oh.
Garbage.
Okay.
You know, merch people, fucking stay till the end.
Wait till they're fucking mopping the floors and you can leave. Next email we got here is from our good buddy Greg from Backyard Superheroes. I asked him what we were talking about a topic, and he finally emailed me about it. So I was like, I want to actually know your opinion, because actually 2 artists we talked about, we reviewed, fall into this category here. He says, with all these bands like Good Charlotte, Sleeker, Kenny, Spice Girls, Blur, Faith No More, and the Descendants all reuniting over the past few years, do you feel the term breakup or hiatus is meaningless nowadays? Should bands just say they are taking a break or putting the group on pause? Also, when bands reform, should they just be honest and say, hey, we got back together because we needed the money? Thanks, Gregos. Now, a couple of bands that in his list you like.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about the whole hiatus breakup term nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's lost a little bit.
What?
What you were saying?
Oh.
No, yeah, I would say you see a band is like, oh, they're going on hiatus. You're like, oh, well, how long is that gonna last?
Yeah, they're not true like fucking Fugazi was serious about that shit. Because still to this day,
Yeah,
nothing from Fugazi.
but I don't know. I think it depends on the band. I don't know.
Well,
It's a
actually,
weird
like,
question.
what an answer? Yeah, sorry, Greg. He has no really answer. I think like, I don't know, like, but then at the same time, like bands like New Jersey band that we a New Jersey band called My Chemical Romance.
Mm-hmm.
They broke up, and then when they said something like, "Oh, someone's coming this year," everyone assumed the thing like, "Oh, they're gonna
Yeah, I
come back,"
saw
but
that.
it was like, "No, we're just putting out our greatest hits," or like our anniversary thing of our album from 10 years ago. It's like, oh man, it's like, well, they said they broke up, so stop assuming they're gonna get back together. But we do that now. Every time a
Yeah.
band breaks up, we just don't think it's a thing. They're gonna
Yeah.
come back
What's
together.
that,
now.
Motion City Soundtrack is breaking up.
Yeah, and Yellow Card too.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't
Yes.
know they were still together.
Yeah, they're doing their final tour. So, but it's like, I think what you're saying, Greg, is the same thing that's been going on since fucking the Rolling Stones broke up in whatever year that happened the first time. And it was a big deal in 1994 when they reunited. But that's just the way it is now. It's just like, I think bands should say that. Like, we're just gonna stop, and then when they break up, like, oh shit, we're not making money.
I
Let's
will
just
say,
go
I wish
together.
more bands broke up.
Really?
There's more-
Why?
So I mean, there's definitely like
Too many bands.
Yeah, like Despised Icon. They could use a breakup.
Another one, right?
Use a hiatus. I feel like a lot of those bands that what did he say? Like he said,
he
I
said-
remember Faith No More.
Yeah, Faith No More, Descendants, Spice Girls are back together. Good Charlotte, which we reviewed last week.
Oh yeah,
Sleeker Kennedy.
Slater
Kenny. Slater. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things where, I mean, when a band gets back together, you can pretty much assume most of the time it's for the money.
Yeah, so they should they say it,
Should
or
they
we just
come out
know
and
it?
say that?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I feel like, but I mean, with some of those examples, I mean, the only thing I could really speak to is because the only one I really am familiar with is Faith No More. I feel like Faith No More sort of did it the right way. You know, like some of these bands you see, they come back and they do these like fucking nostalgia tours. You know, or Smash Mouth is fucking touring with the Gin Blossoms with Sugar Ray and
Yeah, but
Cake, I guess.
did
I
they
don't know.
break up though? I didn't know they broke
I don't
up
know.
like
All
officially.
those bands are
Yeah.
probably still
Yeah.
together. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
No, just some bands just like don't do things, and they never officially announced it. So maybe they shouldn't say anything. Just like maybe just stop doing music, and then people are like, oh, I wonder what happened in such and such band, and they just like, we haven't had anything creative come to us yet. Just don't fucking announce it, because nowadays when you say, I think I see what Greg's saying. When you say like we're taking a hiatus, we're just like, oh, TikTok, like you said, it's no matter of time before you realize, oh, my bank account's so low. You want to be friends? Like you want to just work it out? I know we were fighting like years ago. Let's just try. But it's just like I don't know. It's just
or like I don't know, like the Pixies are similar.
okay.
You know?
Good example.
But I feel like it depends on the band because, like I said, Faith No More, the Pixies, I feel like both those bands are doing it right. They're not just going up and being like, we're just going to play festivals. It's not like Rage Against the Machine or like At the Drive-In, you know. Like Refused, I felt like was that way. Refused got back together, they played a bunch of shows, but then they put an album out. I feel like they're doing it the right way. You know, it's like they're getting back together so they can make new music and keep being a band and touring and grinding again, you know, instead of like sitting around in their mansions or whatever, you know, like I'm sure, you know, there's not a lot of money in music, but yeah, like Faith No More, you know, they got out, they toured for like years since like 2008. I think they got back together and toured and played a lot, and then eventually got together, put an album out. Same thing with the Pixies, you know, they toured and rode the nostalgia wave at first.
Yeah, but now they're
and
doing
then they were like,
music,
you know what, we're back in it. Let's start writing some new music. And I think that's what it's all about for a lot of these older bands. You know, it's like you can only judge it once they come back. And you're like, all right, are they just going to come back and be like, we're just going to do a tour and we're only going to play our old shit? Or we're going to actually become a band again and like write new music? And it's not just coming together for a paycheck. Like
you hear that, Spice Girls? Write some new music, goddamn! We need some new Spice Girls music.
I'm thinking more like Guns N' Roses.
Good. Well, yeah, he just got the same guys back, but he never stopped what they were doing, or maybe he did. All right, this final email is from Fellatio. This guy, fucking names. Phil is the first name, Latio is the last name, and it's actually a question for me and you, Mark. He says that Saturday Night Live fans, what is your opinion on Jay Farrow and Taron Killam not coming back this season?
What?
I can understand Jay leaving since Obama won't be president much longer, so there would be less for him to do, but I think losing Taron will really hurt the show. What do you two think? Will you still be watching the show even if it could potentially start to suck? More than usual, anyway. Thanks. P.S. Review the new Chelsea Grin album, damn it. Now, Chelsea Grin is a deathcore band, so we might not be able to do it because I obviously know what Mark's going to say, but you never know. You said what? Like you didn't know?
I didn't know they were not coming back, no.
Wow, they were fired. They didn't renew their contracts. Taron Killam is working on he's directing a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, of all people.
Oh, really?
So he said like, hey, like the schedule will be hard. So Lorne Michaels like, all right, well, we'll just let you go. Because we have the 7-year contract, but you only did 6, but whatever. We'll let you go now. Jay Farrow, on the other hand, they don't know why, but he never even addressed it on his he never addressed it because he's doing that tour. I saw him back in June. He's just touring, doing comedy shit. But what's actually funny is no one's mentioning the fact that the other new guy, like John, name I can't, he got let go too, but no one's
really?
talking about that.
Well, he was barely on it. I mean, I'll say that.
That's probably why, yeah.
Same thing with Jay Farrow. I mean, I feel like they underutilized him. Like, whenever they needed a Jay-Z impression or like something.
Yeah, but he finally started shining this year.
Yeah, he finally started doing stuff, but it was a little too late, maybe. And I feel like they got Michael Che on there, so they need one less black guy.
There's 3 black dudes here. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I am sort of eternally optimistic for SNL, and I think that is something that a lot of people could use if because there's this whole like thing of like, oh, SNL used to be great.
Yeah,
and
I hate
like,
that shit.
And it's been great consistently. I feel like sure they've had some off seasons here and there of like adjustment periods, like when a huge amount of the cast leaves. But
it depends when you start into the show. Everyone likes it from when they start watching it. Because I liked it best when I was in high school. My parents liked it best when it first started. I hear people in their 40s like, oh, like the fucking 80s were great. Like Eddie Murphy was great on the show. I'm like, dude, Eddie Murphy was on that show when it was horrible. He was the only good thing on that show. So you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. So it's just like, I mean, how I feel about Taron Killam was like my boy. So I'm just saying now I gotta look to the fucking tall kid, whose name I can't remember right now. He's going I usually have a go-to guy or girl that I think is funny. So it's Kate McKinnon is my girl, and the giant younger kid that does that humor. I forget his name though.
Shit, no, I can't.
Yes.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, that's it. Pete Davidson's gonna be my guy now, and it's weird that they lost Jay Farrell, but yet Kenan Thompson still stays.
Hey man, he'll be there until they kick him off.
Ride that shit out. That's what I gotta tell.
But Kenan consistently, like he's always kind of funny in his sketches, or really funny, depending upon what it is. But I feel like he never falls flat entirely, and he's like, he's just a consistent performer, and he always every little while, like he comes up with something that's like makes it into the cultural language. I feel like What Up With That was like a huge thing. Yeah, and of course they ran into the ground.
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like Kenan's earned it.
I'm just hoping this Schwarzenegger movie is like phenomenal for him to lose, for Taron Killam to be gone like that. It's just
he's married to that girl from
How I Met Your Mother. Yeah, got like 2 kids. Yeah, it's just that's cool. At least he's got that going for him. He's got that hot girl on his left and Arnold Schwarzenegger on his right. So that's good. So that's our opinion on that. That is the email portion of the show. I think that wraps up the whole show. So good job. Thank you for coming.
All right, we did it.
Yeah, we did it. We held it down by ourselves. I'm sure Stu will be back for the next show. He was coming back from Vermont, so I don't want to give him shit for making it back on time. But next time, goddammit, next show he'll be on for that show, and we're actually going to be reviewing another album that you like that you mentioned, which we'll talk more later after we're done recording. Until next time, I want to say thank you for coming, and I want to say thank you, Clinda, for having us on the show. I actually seeing it's fucking pouring rain, or it was. Now it's sunny again. That's the way it works here in New Jersey. We get like a downpour and it stops now. All right, so outro time. Get in touch with us. This is what you do. Go to our website, njhabbitradio.net. Stroll down to the contact section. Type in your thing. That's like all the people that email us now. The email comes right to our email account, which is njhabbitradio@gmail.com. Email your questions, your comments. You don't have to always email us music things. As you can see, we had like a SNL question. Ask us some relationship advice. Ask us some parents advice. Or you can criticize us. Or you can give us some opinions or advice, which we should do, which we should stop doing. We like to know that shit, Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/NJHabitRadio, and like us on there as well. We want to have more likes. All these podcasts and everything like that, or interviews, things like that, are on our YouTube channel as well. Go to our YouTube channel, type in Hybrid Radio, scroll down, you can find us on the first page. We're moving up on YouTube, getting more views. That means we're getting more popular. And make sure you subscribe to that. That will get us more popular than we already are. That way you can know when new stuff comes up. Follow us on Twitter @NJHabitRadio. Tweet us your questions there as well. If you want to sit things shorter, we'll read it on the show. Finally, all the bands and record labels, you want to send us some music to play on our soon-to-be-coming radio station, P.O. Box 297, Hybrid Radio, Raritan, New Jersey, 08869. Till next time, this is Jarrell and Snarky Mark saying bye-bye and have a good week. Until next time.